week, we got a new potential handheld on the horizon, another company enters the game streaming market, and more. So let's just go ahead, together, as a people, and check it out! And welcome to another sensational Sunday. I'm Mike, and if you're watching this, I'm streaming to a device near you. And you know what else has been streaming for a while? Games. You know who else has been streaming video for a while? Netflix. So if you're unaware, Netflix started adding games as part of their service back in 2021, but they've primarily been focused on mobile games for iOS and Android. Now, they may be looking to expand as Netflix has begun testing game streaming in Canada and in the UK. They're only testing 2 games at the moment, Oxenfree and Mohu's Mining Adventure. I probably said that wrong. As far as hardware, they're testing it with a few popular TV brands like LG and some streaming devices like Roku, and it can also be accessed on PC. So this all seems pretty normal so far for a streaming experience, but what about the controller? Obviously, if you're streaming to a device without a touchscreen, you'll need some kind of way to send inputs. Well, don't worry, because they're letting people use their phone as a controller, except on PC where you could just use a mouse and keyboard. I'm actually not going to give them too much crap for this because it's a beta test and it's an early beta because it's only 2 games. So maybe they'll have a better solution if and when this feature fully rolls out. I think Netflix entering the cloud gaming space makes sense if they want to do games, especially because they're rolling it into their subscription and a lot of people already have the Netflix app installed, which increases visibility. I think the biggest hurdle is obviously going to be the hardware. Are they going to do their own controller like Amazon did with Luna or Google did with Stadia, RIP? Or do they just let people use a PS5 or Xbox controller? Overall, I think it's good to have more competition in the cloud gaming space, especially because it's still new. And Google's already bowed out, so you don't want it to just be Amazon and Microsoft in that space. And cloud gaming in general still needs a lot of work, but I think they'll get there eventually. But you know what'll be gone eventually? The Xbox 360 store, because it's being RIP'd as of July 29, 2024. So Microsoft has announced that it's closing the Xbox 360 store and marketplace. This is like other closures we've seen in the past where you won't be able to purchase new games, but you can still download the existing games that you own. Network services are still going to be available as well, so online games should still work if there are people still playing them and you can find matches, but TV and movie content will no longer work on the 360. There is some good news though. If you have an Xbox One or a Series console, you can still purchase 360 games that are available through backwards compatibility. Now the full library of 360 games aren't available on the current consoles, but Microsoft did do a lot of work to bring as many games forward as they possibly could, so they're in a way better position than most other companies for a shutdown like this, so they can still continue to sell those games on their current systems and they can continue to be played on like a Series X or an Xbox One. For me, this really feels like the end of an era. Even though I haven't had a 360 in forever, it was the start of modern online gaming services and digital game stores. It just felt like a huge leap from the previous generation with the PS2 and the Xbox when it came to features. Plus, there was a 16-year-old me who waited overnight in front of a Circuit City for 8 hours on launch day to get one. Ooh, all that sounded real old. Either way, if you still have a 360 and there are some games you want to purchase from the store that are not available through backwards compatibility, you basically have 11 months to do it. But while we're losing the console of the past, let's talk about a handheld that could be coming in the future. In fact, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in our final story. So if we go back to when the Steam Deck released, it was really popular and it still is, but to be honest, I didn't think it would get much competition in the space outside of the existing players like Ioneo, GPD, etc. Then recently, Asus surprised us with the ROG Ally, which that review is still coming. I've been busy lately, my bad. And with it launching at $700 with a 120Hz screen and better performance than the Steam Deck, I was surprised that a laptop brand like Asus took interest in this space. Well, apparently, if these leaks are accurate, they're not the only laptop company making an attempt at a handheld, because photos have leaked of a Lenovo handheld called the Legion Go. Now there are no specs that leaked, but it's rumored to run Windows 11 and AMD's upcoming Phoenix processors. It's also supposed to have an 8-inch screen and detachable controllers, kind of like the Switch. It'll also have a kickstand similar to the Switch OLED, and there was also an ad that showed AR glasses, so maybe they'll release some kind of compatible AR glasses accessory with it. If these photos are real, then I'm really expecting this to compete at the higher end, like around the $1,000 range, especially with a larger screen and this controller design. And I'm also wondering if these controllers work similar to the Switch, where you can put them in a holder and use it as a wireless controller, which I'll admit would be convenient if you want to plug this thing up to a TV. If those controllers don't work that way, then I really don't see a real advantage for them being detachable. For the Switch, there are games that let you use each Joy-Con as a separate controller, and there are also motion-based games like Switch Sports and Ring Fit Adventure. And if the Legion Go is real, it's probably going to be more of a niche product, so it probably won't get as much third-party support as far as controllers like the Switch does. So to me, having the detachable controllers only makes sense if there's an included holder that turns it into a standard controller you can use wirelessly. The thing I do like about this controller from this leaked photo is that there's a touchpad on the right controller, something that I miss from the Steam Deck, especially since I've been using the ROG Ally on a daily basis. It's something that's nice to have, especially in Windows when you're jumping through multiple programs that may or may not work well with touch. Now, outside of that, it has 3 back buttons, 2 additional buttons on the right controller, probably from some Lenovo specific functions, and then your standard Xbox style controller layout. So if this does turn out to be a real product, I'm interested to see what the price point is, the performance, and find out the capability of these controllers. And I'm also capable of some smooth transitions like this one to signal me bringing the video to a close. But let me know what you think down below about this rumored Legion Go. Would you be more interested in this than a Steam Deck or an ROG Ally? Again, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification to be notified when I drop a video or a live stream. And always do at least 2 things at the same time. We out.